Alright guys, what's going on? Today I have for you a video on, I have two of these 11R22s for a semi, and they both need patches. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now first I'm going to show you the tools that I use. It's going to be just my drill, and this is for a more or less intermediate tire guy. I'm far away from being a pro, and I'm surely not a beginner. So this is more or less what I use. I carry all this on my truck. I do 24-hour roadside assistance for semis. So this is the tool that I carry with me and that I use for tires. So first of all is my old DeWalt drill, along with the bit, special for the tires. And this allows me to open up the hole in the tire in order to get that plug in there. And speaking of plug, what I like to use is the patch and plug. These are by Extra Seal. I've got this Extra Seal. So what this is, it's both a patch and a plug, as you can see. But the good thing about it is if one of them fails, the other one will take care of it. But if the plug fails, you got a patch, and if the patch fails, the plug's gonna be in there. So chances of failure are slim to none. I've never had a problem with these. Another thing, of course, your air chuck and your gauge. You're gonna need your core tool to take out the valve cores. Your stitcher. This is one of the better ones. You know, it's pretty sturdy, and it's got a nice stitcher on there, the roller. You're gonna need some. You could use any type of blade. This is one that I got it in one of the kits for one of my plug kits, but it works good because I'm able to bend it and get really flush onto that plug. Of course, some pliers. You want to take out whatever is stuck inside the tire. A couple of valve cores. I always like to put new valve cores in. My buffer, which is a die grinder with that buffer wheel for the tires, special for the tires. Soap and water. Do about that much soap. Fill the rest of it with water, and it's good for unmounting the tires. You need to have some lubrication on there. As for the patch, this is the Extra Seal vulcanizing cement. It's like rubber cement, and that's what I like to use. Never had a problem with it. This is my mounting compound. So it's pretty much just water and that mounting compound. It's about a 50-50 mix. You know, this is nice and thick. That way you can set that bead easier. You're going to want a marker for the tires. Now I've used the crayon type, and I don't really like the crayon types. This is the Sharpie Mean Streak, and this works pretty good. You know, it won't just wash off, it stays on there. Of course, the bead breaker hammer. This is a Ken tool, my Ken tool bead breaker. This right here, this is my, I believe it's the Golden Buddy. You guys look it up, the Golden Buddy tool for tires. I think it works from, I'm not sure about, but I've popped off some 19s with it, and it's worked good with the 19s. And the highest I've done is 24 5s. So this is what I like to use. This is for taking off the tires. And this is also the Golden Buddy. It's the set, and this is to put in the tires back on the rim for mounting the tires. And that should be all you need. Oh, and of course, yeah, your air supply. You see, this is a 5/8 hose. And this one I use for everything since it has that big adapter. Right here I can use my 1-inch impact, my 3/4 impact, or for like little things like my buffer and my 1/2-inch gun. I got this adapter here and I'm able to use it. Alright, so let's get into the tire changing process. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do is to actually find the hole. On this one it was marked right there. As you can see, I previously marked it. So that's where the air was coming out of. You want to do that before you do anything on it. That way, you know, in case you go through the trouble of unmounting it, because it happened to me in the beginning where the valve was the one that was leaking and I went ahead and dismounted the tire for nothing. So you want to try and avoid that. That's also the first thing you should do. Check it, make sure. You want to check all the tire all around with the soap and water, just to make sure you know where the air is leaking from. Sometimes it's just a small leak, which will be from the valve, or even the valve core will fail. So that's the first thing you should do. The next thing you're going to do is remove your core, which I have already done. And we do that in order to prepare the tire to be dismounted. So next thing you do is just add some soap water around the bead and the rim. Get it in there. It'll make it way easier to unmount the tires. Oh, so I thought you just step on it and dismount it like I just did. So, and the way you take these off, you take them off through this back side here, or the front side, depending on what tire you're looking at. But on the deep side of the rim, that's where these big tires are going to be unmounted from. So we're going to go ahead and flip it around. Then we'll go ahead and add some more soap to it. Add some soap to this side and do the same thing. And this side, I'm not going to step on it. I'm gonna show you guys how to use the bead breaker hammer. And what you want to do is just get as close to the rim as possible, but not actually hitting the rim, of course. So you want to get as close to the rim as possible. There it is. All right. The next thing we're going to do, with the Golden Buddy, you want to make sure that these two sides are touching the rim. It'll make it way easier. And also make sure you're not anywhere close to the valve stem. In this case, I'm directly across from the valve stem, so I'm good. Now what you want to do is you just want to press on this and catch the tire. The tool has an actual groove on these two little forks here, and all you gotta do is, you know, make sure you get it in there. And what we're gonna do is just pull on as high as you can. Let me go and flip the camera around and I'll show you guys. Okay, what you want to do is you want to get as far as you can on the handle. So try and get all the way up top. Also, just make sure that this side of the tire goes into the groove. It'll make your life much, much easier. From here, all we do is just use your body weight and bring it down. And we'll just push it down. All the way. And there it goes. Okay, now that we've done that, we'll leave the tool in there. And now what you want to do is going to catch the rim. You'll see the little tire on the tool. It's going to catch that rim. And then it's got a groove up top. You want to catch that groove. Make sure you catch that groove on the top one. And all we're going to do is bit. Alright. And this side will come up. And now what you're trying to do is catch the other side, the bottom side of the lip of the bead. You want to catch that right on the forks. See if I can pick it up so I can explain. If you can see, already I have these two forks sticking out of here. So that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And from there, it's the same process. We're gonna bring this back. Remember, leverage is key, so you just want to make sure you're as high as you can. And same process. We'll bring it down. And there you go. The tool should come out by itself by now. And then again, right there, it's not too much. We'll just pull it off, and there you go. Now we'll get into the buffing and the patch process. Okay guys, so in this case we have a failed patch. It's not what I was expecting. It's a little bit more work because I'm gonna have to buff all this off, but yeah, you can see where they buffed everything down, and for some reason that patch has failed. So I'm gonna go ahead and buff that off, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done doing so. Now here I'm just gonna get as much as a patch off, since they already went ahead and they buffed all this area off already. I'll just go ahead and try and go, you know, not try and get more of the tire, because they did go a little bit deep. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'll bring you guys back when I'm done buffing. Alright YouTube, as you can see, I'm down, you know, to where I'm I'm comfortable taking off all that material, and I can see where you can see, I don't know if you can see right there at the tip of my drill, that's where the hole was. So what I'm gonna do is take my drill with that special bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go straight out. It doesn't matter if the hole is sideways, I just want to go straight out with it, and I'll explain to you in a bit. Alright, as you can see, all the little shiny pieces is part of the wires from the tire. So now what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and brush that off. I'm going to clean it with some brake cleaner. Alright, so now that we got it nice and clean, we went ahead and made that hole. The next step is to add some of we're going to add some of that rubber cement. So you want to add just a liberal amount. Try and get some in the hole. And then we'll just go around more or less to the size of the plug, a little bit more. So make sure you spread it evenly all around. Okay, now as you can see right now, it's just watery. You feel it's just watery. We're trying to get it to where it's actually a little bit more tacky, so we'll give it a couple minutes. Meanwhile, I'll let you guys know why I've always liked doing my plugs, you know, straight out. And why? Because sometimes, you know, a lot of times the nail will go in that way. And as you know, all this space right here is, you know, it's just part of the tire. It's not actually the hole. So what I'm trying to do is make it straight. That way my plug sits flat. I mean my patch sits flat and my plug is straight down. So it'll be more or less like this, right? Straight up and down. And the other way, if I would do it like this, my patch would have a gap right there, or it would want to, you know, come up like that. So that's why always do it from the inside out, straight out. Don't matter if the hole is that way, because even if it leaks through the hole, that patch is there to stop it from actually leaking. So that's the best thing to do. Alright guys, so now that the glue is tacky, you can tell. See how it makes my glove stick. What you want to do is take off, get your plug, make sure your plug is clean, and we'll take off this protective film from the patch and try and avoid touching it. Well, I got gloves on, so it wouldn't affect that much, but still try and not touch that area. What I do is I just fold it over and catch that edge. We'll take that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it right into the hole. And now with some pliers, I'm going to go ahead and pull that tip. I'm going to pull on the tip that's sticking out of the tire. I'm going to pull on it straight down to where my patch is nice and flat. So just like that, alright, now that it's nice and flat, we'll get to stitching in the patch. What I like to do is I like to start in the middle, get as much pressure as you can on it, and roll it to the outside. I mean to the inside of the tire. And then we'll do the same to the other side. We'll go from the middle and work your way out. And you'll see this gray part will start to actually expand and flatten out. That's exactly what you want. So we'll start from the middle, go to one side. We'll start from the middle and to the other side. And you're just going to work this for a couple minutes. Make sure you get it as flat as possible. Alright, from here, now that it's nice and flat, what I like to do is take off this, I'll take off this protective film that's on the on the outside of the patch. I'll peel that back. Let's work the edge a little bit. What you want to do is flatten it out, expand it. Alright, and once I do that, what I like to do is just brush on just a light coating right around the edge of that patch. So we'll just go around this a little bit, right on the edge. Just like that. And there it is. Now what I gotta do is, I'm gonna bring you guys back again. We'll put it on this side. Now what you want to do is, we're gonna cut that plug as flush as possible. Like I said, this is my handy little knife here. And get as close as you can, and you cut off that excess plug. And there you guys go. So now we'll go ahead and do the mounting of the tire. Okay, you guys, so to mount the tire, where you're gonna mount the tire, just if you're working like in dirt or somewhere with rocks or fine sand, you want to make sure you clean off your rim. This one's not too dirty and I'm not too worried about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this, my mounting compound, 50-50 with water, and you want to rub all along this bead, right on that bead. No, don't be shy with it, don't get cheap with it, make your life much easier. And make sure you get both sides nice and coated. And now what you want to do is, set it to one side, and then we're going to try and align the rim more or less with the inside of the bead. And all you're going to do is just push down on it. Let's use my knees, use your body weight. If you're a younger fella, you can do more damage. There it is. Now in order to use the mounting tool, you're going to want one edge. If you guys can see, you want one of the edges a little bit on the bottom of the edge. Now a little trick that I do is I like to actually just put my boot, and I'll press down on the bead and kind of stick my tire in there. So I kind of wedge my foot in there with just the lip of the boot, and then you just come around with this. You just want to sit this edge right here on the rim, and then the tire on this side, and we'll just just leverage it in there. So put it on the lip, wedge it in there. Now if you guys start trying to do it and it starts slipping and whatnot, it just means you're going to get closer. Leave a smaller gap in between, like that. Leave a small gap. Small gap. And as you can see, the tire over here where my foot's at, it's not moving because I already wedged my boot in there. So now in this last little bit, with experience, you'll be able to get it where you don't have to hammer it in. the tool will do all the work for you. So once it's more or less of I'd say about a foot, less if you can, you guys can just put it right in the middle, get it in there, work your tool back, and boom, there you guys go. Alright guys, so the next step I'm going to do is set the bead. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Usually, I'll see if I can pull it off, but since I no longer have my core in there, I'm able to use my, just this regular fitting to actually set the bead. So let's see if I can get it right now. And yep, we got the bead. So we'll just leave it on there for 10-15 seconds. And you want to have your core tool and your core on hand. Just grab that. Put the core on the tool. And what I do is I just, I kind of wedge it in there a little bit. And I can get in there and work in my core. Alright, and from there all I gotta do is I'll get my gauge and fill it to the proper pressure. Now tire pressure is mainly preference on the drivers. Some drivers most of them like it at 100, some will do 110, and some will go as 120. And I would go for the 120 because yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but these tires are made for all that weight and all that pressure. And if you underfill it to 100, you get a hole, and right away it's going to eat the other tire up. So it gives you more of a chance to catch, to catch a nail in the tire or something. If you do your pre-trips, you got a better chance of catching that. So there you guys go. I got another one to do. Hopefully that one's just as simple. This one was a bit complicated because it had that old patch. I just took a little bit more time to buff that out, but there you guys have it. Remember, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if you wanna bag on me for doing something wrong or improperly use of a tool, go ahead, just drop it in the comments. I don't mind. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Everything works. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys, reading your comments. So remember to like and subscribe if you like my videos. There you guys go. Peace.